Hi, Debbie here. This is just going to be a really quick tutorial, kind of like process video on how I did my molds with the paper clay. So I'm just going to flip my camera around a little bit and then I'll show you how I did mine. It wasn't really anything, major. Nobody hooped up, but I was asked, and if I'm asked, I don't mind doing it if it's something I can do. But first let me show you what mold I use. I'm using this mold here from Prima. It does the little keyholes, and it looks like this. This is what the packaging looks like, and this is the back. And yeah, it's just called, whoop, there we go, it's just called keyholes. So this is the mold I use, and it makes 12 keyholes, very pretty. And the paper clay that I'm using is this one here, Creative Paper Clay. Super easy to use. All you do is just take it out of the package, soften it up in your hands a little bit. It's already really pretty soft anyway, and then just mold it into the mold. And that's the clay that I'll be using. And I did these on Sunday morning, and I actually just left them in the mold to harden because it does state on the paper clay that it does shrink. So I left them in there to see how they would go, because the first time I did them, which is what I have here, is I wanted to show you a sample. I put them in and just left them in for one day, and I took them out. But what I noticed on these really long ones, that because they were shrinking out of the mold, see how the ends are like, oh, they don't lay flat, totally flat. I mean, if I was to push it down really hard, it would just break. But, so I thought, well, let me try leaving them in the mold longer. So these have been in since Sunday morning, and today is Wednesday. So is today Wednesday? No, today's Tuesday, sorry. And, well, anyway, and you can see, because of the shrinkage, these just pop right out. And, they're just no, and the way I did them, there's going to be very minimal trimming around the edges or anything like that. They're just gonna, and they're just popping right out real easy. And here's this one here. These are really nice keyholes. And see how they just pop right out. And here's this one. I'm just really so happy I decided to do this, because I've been watching this for a while, and I've thought about doing it, and I just never. And they seem to stay a little bit more flat, staying in the molds. As I noticed, they seem to be a little bit more flat. I also thought maybe once I have the molds filled, if I was to get like a piece of glass or plastic and just lay it on top just to help keep it flat while it's shrinking. Because when it shrinks, the ends seem to want to curl up. And I don't know if that's because this is the way that paper clay works. And because this is the first time I've done this. I haven't used resin on these. Now, I'm a dental assistant, and I used to work with resin for molds. So when we used to make like crowns and things like that. So I'm used to using molds, and I'm used to using resins and stone and plaster. So, but making teeth and making keyholes are two entirely different things. I can make teeth really easy, but yeah. So I thought, I wanted to try it, and they're really, they're all so really nice. And they're very pretty. This one here. So there you go. And yeah, here's that real long one. See, this one seems to stay a lot more flat on the surface. It's a little bit more, but not as much as the first one. The first one's really, you can really see the difference. And I know a lot of girls, put them in and they take them out right away. I would distort it way too much trying to do that. I think it's just way too soft for me to be playing with it, and then trying to make it flat on the table. And I think I would just kind of ruin the imprint of the mold itself playing with it too much. So, well, anyway, this is what I do. I just take some of this clay, just, you know, just some. And you'd be surprised how little it takes to fill one of these molds. It doesn't take much. And it's already pretty soft in the packaging, so you really don't have to really do much molding with it. But I probably took too much here. And then I just push it into the mold. That's all I do, is just make sure it's pushed into the mold. Really good. And then I just have this little spatula that I just scrape across. I get the excess off, and then just push it into the mold. And I make sure I have everything off the edges. That way, when I take it out of the mold, I have almost like zero cleanup. And that's basically it. I just make sure it's flat. You know, so you can get a little finicky with the edges, which I can get that way. And then I just take my brayer, and I actually just go over it like that. Just make sure it's nice and flat. Because I like it nice and flat. And then if it comes off the edges, I just push it into the mold. I'll show you what it looks like. And this is kind of like, that's what I do. And it comes out, and it's going to come out just like that. And that's what I do. Just like that. And then I'll do the same. And I will leave it in the molds until they set up. I won't pull them out. Like right now, I wouldn't try to pull that out because I know I would distort it too much. So, and then I'll just do it like that. Make sure it's in good. You just got to make sure you push it really into the mold so that you make sure you get all the way down into it. Especially if it's a deep mold, you want to just make sure you get all the way in there. And then I'll just take this and scrape it. Just go straight across, right over that. And then I just bring it down. Just rub that on there. And I just make sure my keyhole is totally clear. And that's really basically all I did. It's just like that. And it comes out like that. Now it's not totally perfectly flat, but it's flat enough so that you can put it on a project with no problem. Really, it's that little bit of isn't going to make a difference. The main thing is just make sure you put enough into your mold and to clean off the edges as much as you can, because the more you clean those edges off, the less you're going to have to do later. So just take a little bit of time, clean those edges off, and when they come out, I have absolutely no cleanup to do in here except that's one little teeny tiny piece in the middle of the keyhole, and that's it. There's just one little piece, and that'll just flick right out. But around the edges and stuff, I don't have any cleanup at all with these. And some of these are not even going to have any cleanup even in the keyholes. Then you just go with your little, whatever you're using, a spatula, credit card, whatever. Yep. I just use a brayer. It's just easier for me to just do that. And then that's what I'll do. I'll go fill these up, and then I will leave them in the mold until they harden. Now this paper clay says you can do anywhere from 1 to 3 days. Leave them in the mold from 1 to 3 days. And these that I took out just before, you know, at the beginning of the video, those are in, like I said, since Sunday morning. So that was all day Sunday, and then Monday, and then today. So, yep. And there, it's all set hard. And I don't think they're going to get any harder than that. So, yeah, so I just wanted to show you. This is how I did mine, and I really enjoy playing with this paper clay. I really am. I need to just get some more bowls. And, yeah. So, if you have any questions, just put them in the, just ask me in the comments below and I will definitely get back with you. The only thing is about paper clay, you definitely have to keep it in an airtight container. And so what I do is I just put it in here, and then I have a Ziploc bag that I keep it in, just to keep it, you got to keep it moist or it's just going to dry out, because it is paper and it will dry out. And I just keep it like that until I'm ready to use. So that's it. Like I said, if you have any questions, just ask. I'll answer them as best I can. This is my first time doing it, so I'm not a professional on this, and I've only used paper clay. I've never used anything else in these molds. No stone, no resin or anything like that. But I think resin would be nice too, just pour it in. But this is what I've done so far, and I'm very happy. And I want to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.